Hello, I'm here. I don't know how well I'm going to be here, so I'm letting you know in advance because I'm tired and I'm always hurting. My arms are killing me. I hate being turned into a pincushion. Oh, 4 shots yesterday. Not fun. Who's here? Let me know when you get here, so I know when to start. I am like this arm. It's got a lump and everything. And it's red. I don't know if you can see it. I don't know why, but I had a really bad reaction to this one. And it hurts a lot. Can you see it? Big old bump. Can you hear me? I don't see any comments yet. Who's here? Who's here? Who's here? No, somebody is, but got boo-boos. This arm isn't as bad. I mean, it still hurts, but this one, I don't know why I reacted to the flu shot really bad. And it hurts. Can you hear me? Anybody here? Want to make sure we're not having a problem. Can you hear me? I can hear me, but can you? Let me know as soon as you show up. I don't want to start this unless I know somebody's here because this isn't the type of class that I can video. Paper piecing, especially not these. Oh, I can see comments now. Okay. Oh, I can see comments now. I don't know why in the actual class I couldn't see comments, but I brought you guys up in the group page and I can see you. You guys can hear me? I don't know what it is, but can you see how big and red and swollen it is? And it's hot to the touch, warm to the touch. Yesterday was not a good day. I had such big plans. And instead I got 1 shot, 2 shot, 3 shot, 4 shots. All right. Please let me know so I can see the comments, make sure we're all good. Oh, goody, goody, finally. I don't know why in my group live, I didn't see any comments. And apparently you guys were commenting, so God only knows. So bear with me, okay? Because I'm a bit off today. I'm very tired. This whole week has been bad. I don't know what it is, but I've just been really off. Very tired, not myself, just ugh. I'm hoping next week is better because I got a lot of stuff to get done next week before my retreat. A lot. And I do mean a lot. Okay. If you guys are ready, let's get going. Yeah, well, unfortunately, I would have had my flu shot and vaccines and all this stuff done in September. But we got the COVID for the very first time in July, and I haven't been right ever since. My stamina has been off. I'm very tired. But they told us we had to wait 6 months. So we did it yesterday because I wanted to get it done before I go to retreat with my girlfriends. I didn't want to, I just want to get it done well in advance because normally I don't have that bad of a reaction. But with everything being off this last year, I didn't want to, take any chances. But this one hurts a lot. I'm so thankful I put it in my non-dominant arm. I can tell you that because if I had put it in my dominant arm, I would not be having a class right now because I can't do barely anything with it. Should have seen me this morning trying to lift the bags of groceries because I have my groceries delivered. Not good. Nobody's even awake at my house but me, and it's 11 o'clock. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. Last week, we did our A1s. And I saw yours, Susan and Mary. They look beautiful. And we did our A3s. Now I have one more thing I want you to do on the A3s before you take the paper off. You can actually take the paper off this one if you have a board or something you want to put it in. We don't have a lot of stability needs with this one. So after you do this one step, this last step, you can take the paper off if you want. It's up to you. And you can actually, if you take the paper off, yeah, you can take the paper off. Just, whoops, make sure you get this one step done. Oh, these are not, yeah, what worse, it's not just my arms, Mary. I did my allergy shots in my legs last night too. I do 2 shots, one in each leg. So I was walking around and I felt like, oh, last night, like, oh goodness, please, just let me go to bed. Please, 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 please. It wasn't pretty. Not even a little bit. And I was knocked out. I had a really bad, not bad per se. I just had a very strong reaction to my shots yesterday. I was knocked out for about an hour and a half, and I was very tired the rest of the night, but I couldn't sleep because I was in pain. Not good. Okay. So what we're going to work on also is we're going to work on our A2 units today. And I'll give you a sneak peek of my B1 units. Needless to say, because of everything yesterday, they did not get done yesterday, but I'm also a little confused. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm doing things right. All right. Whoops, wrong one. So our A3 units, unit A3 units last week, we got to this point, okay? You should have gotten to this point. There's only one thing. Once you iron this bias strip out, you've got, can you see, I highlighted them in pink. You've got 2 more RP units that I now want you to sew or base See here, so that they, one, help hold this bias strip out, but two, more importantly, that's going to be where we're going to put our pieces. So once we get done with our A2 units, here's my two basting strips. They line up with the basting RP units that we do in unit A2. And you see that? Right now it looks like a knot of threads, but it's from here to here. So here it is on our A2 unit, and here it is on our A3 unit. Make sense? And all we're gonna do is change my base to my basting stitch. And oops. I did not chain piece these because they were just too big for my setup. So I just did them one at a time. So we got one here and one here. And then you can take your paper off. Just go eat slowly. It's probably the worst, not probably, this is the worst part, I think, in paper piecing. Yes, you're gonna just start on the dots and sew right to the end of the dot. So you can start up here if you want. You can start down here, it doesn't matter, but just go sew right there. And what it does, see, is it gives you a marking on your front. If, because we're doing this in a basting stitch, if, and I'll show you what I mean, after you take the papers off, you pull out some of your basting stitch, that's when I just use my my what do you call it, friction marker in the seam allowance on the front. I'll show you. Ugh, I hate this part. Taking the papers is the worst part. If you have a design wall and you get all your stitching done, you can take the papers off and just lay it up on your design wall. One of the pros about keeping the paper on is if, like me, I'm switching back and forth, I don't have a lot of space, and I'm switching back and forth between projects, leaving the paper on will help you remember where you are and what parts you have. Does that make sense? But I try to take the papers off as soon as possible for me, because it's just, if I do it one at a time, after I'm done with the units, it just makes it easier, in my opinion, for me, because I really don't like the papers. That's why, one of the reasons why I like freezer paper for doing paper piecing, because you don't have to rip all the papers off. They come off easy. Either that or the wash away paper is even better. You should bibble. Okay, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to worry about it because I have another one over here. Did a mess? All right, now This is our A2 units that we're going to be working on. In my case, it is a rainbow. And that's why I think I'm having so much trouble with the next one, the B1 units, is because I think, I don't know. I'm going to go ahead with it, but it looks like to me, the colors are a little mixed up, but not the color, just the shades. So I'm not really happy with that, but such is life. Oops, sorry. So we've got to, and I didn't do this in advance. Draw on your dotted lines. I'm only going to do a few just so I get going. I am not going to finish this whole unit today, but I am going to get you to the point where you can finish this unit today because there's just not enough time in this class. But I will go ahead because I have one finished already. And I will show you what we're going to do with it once you do finish the units. These units are going to take you a little bit longer than the A1s because there's a lot more pieces. I watch TV when I sew these, believe it or not. Um, hold on. Okay, A2. So you are going to stack like we did before in our A1s. We have 30 sections. We're going to stack them. And mine are all mixed up from the highest to the lowest. 29. So, okay. 30. Sew line that way. 29. Sew line that way. 28. 27. 26. 25. 24. 23. 22. 21. 20. 19. 18. 17. 16. 15. 14. 13. 12. 11. 10. 9. 8. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and then 2 and 1. Now, section 5 and section 3 do not have the sew line indicated like it should. Okay. See how it's written sew line? So I want you to, on the long side, that on section 3, it's your sew line. So write it in, and I highlighted it myself so I knew. And section 5, again, on this long side, right sew line. Everybody get that? Section 1 doesn't have a sew line, but that's because it doesn't. It's never does it because it's going on backwards. Whoops. Are you guys with me so far? Yes, no, maybe. Okay, good, Susan. This, you can keep going the way we have been doing, but I wanted to show you an optional shortcut. This only works when you have section 1 is at the end. Like instead of when we did A1 sections, section 1 was in the center. Okay. With the A2 units, section 1 is at the end. If it's too confusing, because sometimes it can be, just do it the normal way. All right. So normally we would take our section 1 and glue it on the back. Right side or wrong side to the back of the paper, right? And then you would fold on line 1 and put your other fabrics in here. This is what I want to show you. And please excuse me if I get a little confused. Instead of folding the paper on line 1, what I'm going to do is fold the paper on the dotted line. This actually will give you a little bit of a shortcut, okay? Just a tiny one. And then if we put our fabric right up against our fold line, that's our seam allowance. How are you guys liking the glue, by the way? I love the glue. Love, 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 love the glue. So I'm just going to center it. Oops, wrong one. Okay, never mind. We're not going to do it that way. Never mind. I will try and get it situated during the next video for unit B1, because guess what? We can do the same thing in B1. It's just easy. I'm not going to do it right now. My brain is just not working. So I'm just going to glue it. Enter glues, then pins. Huh? I love the glue. I mean, let me tell you, I absolutely love the glue. Okay. Fold it on line one. Section two. Ooh, forget the pin section. I don't, nope, nope, not using pins. Not using pins. So much easier with the glue. Section two. I'm all about the easy. Now, this is the easiest way to figure out where to do this, where to place this. See where the paper is? What I've been doing is the white, in my case, my background is on the right side. All my colored pieces are going to be on the left. See? So all my white pieces are over here, or you could say the white is on the top and my colored are on the bottom. What I'm doing is, see where the fold of the paper is? I am putting, oops. My fold, my paper, the top of my paper, approximately a quarter of an inch from the edge, bottom edge of the fabric. And I'm going to do the same thing, but in opposite on the colored side when I go to put those in. I'll show you more. So here's the fold of my paper. Here's the end of my fabric on my one. On my section two, I should say, the white fabric. There's a quarter of an inch difference. And lately I have been also cutting my thread. You're gonna have your stitch length down to between 1.5 and 1.8. With my machine, I have to do 1.6. I start a few stitches before the line and then just stitch down the line. And to save myself a little bit of aggravation and time, so I don't have to keep cutting all my threads. So you start a few stitches, couple stitches before and a couple stitches after, and then I've been using my cutter. So far, it's been pretty good with my thread line, just doing this type of a project. There you go. When I iron it, I put it on my machine like this, my ironing board, so that I can pull it down. I definitely need my retreat time. I'm just saying, I need my retreat. Okay, now I'm just going to pick up the paper on the section one side, just so that I make sure that it doesn't stick later on. Line two is going from here to here, so I want to pull my paper up a little bit past where I'm going to stitch line two. I'm going to fold it. Actually, I gotta turn it this way. And fold it on line 2. And I found it's better to be as neat as possible. So I keep all my scraps thrown in the trash as soon as I cut them. Now we're on section 3. I'm going to start about 1/4 of an inch from the top. Here's my paper. And I want my paper to be about 1/4 of an inch from the top of my fabric. And this is probably the same thing that we're going to be doing in B1 also. The difference is B1 is going to be a shorter. It's much, much shorter. See? So it does go a little bit faster, but it's the same exact thing. Yeah. Stitching line 2. And I'm gonna lay it on my ironing board like this so that I can iron it down. I just find it's easier with the angles to iron it down. We're actually gonna press, not iron, than it is to do it going up. So I just put an iron on top real quick, just to heat it up, fold my piece down, and then iron it again. Just laying the iron on top of it. I'm not trying to get going, you know what I mean? Because you will fold it out of whack and you will rip your paper, which you don't want to do. Okay. Oops, wrong one. Ugh, I'm off today. I am so off today. Okay, we just did line 2. Line 3, we're just going to pull the paper up a bit past our connection where it overlaps on line 2 and line 3. Fold the paper over. Section 4. Fold my paper about 1/4 of an inch from the top of the fabric that's underneath. It's so pretty. Now, line 3. And so on and so on. There is nothing on this one that isn't a whole lot of repeat. Do you think you're comfortable with doing this one? And I can show you what to do next once you're done. So you're gonna fold. What I would do is I would glue all my section ones on all 8 pieces. Just do it as a math, like a manufacturing line. Then fold, cut, glue your fabric on your next piece, sew it, iron it, put it aside. Glue, cut, fold, cut, glue your next piece, sew, iron, go. That sounds good, you guys? Or do you need me to do more of these before we go on to the next part? Let me know, because that's all you're going to do is just going to keep on going till you fill it. See how the piece, the whites angle and the colors angle down? That was the easiest way I figured out where placement was, and I didn't have to think about it. And it fits in the seam allowance. Good, Susan. How about you, Mary? Are you good with this unit? Because if you need me to do more, I will. In the meantime, I wanted to show you what to do next. This is what it's going to look like when you're all done. Mine is pretty rainbow. Mary. Pretty. Looks a mess, but you can kind of see what I meant where everything's angled, and then except for one of my outliers over here. I don't know what I was thinking with that one, but Mary, are you good? Oh, good. Okay, thank you. So once you get this whole unit, your A2 units done, you've got, oops, I don't want to glue it. You have an RP unit here, 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 and here. So we've got 5 basting stitches that we have to sew. I'll do that right now real quick. And I forgot to show you what I wanted to before. If for some reason, like here, my basting stitch is coming out a bit when I tore the papers. So, wrong one. All I did was use a friction pen just in that seam allowance, and I'm not worried about it. So that I have something to use to put my pieces together. Now my basting stitch has got to go back up because I was doing regular sewing. So I'm going to start a couple of stitches before in the cut edge. I like using the highlighter on the paper to kind of remind me on where I have to do my RP basting stitches. And honestly, I'm not so concerned with the basting stitches that are further into the piece. I'm more concerned personally with them being out here, because that's where you're gonna use them to align the next piece. But to be safe, I just did the whole line just like they tell me to. All right, I did my 5. Now I get to pull all the paper off. This one isn't too bad. I mean, it's still bad enough, but actually, oh crap, before I take the paper off, before you take the paper off, ay, 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 you got to cut it. What a dingling I am. Told you my brain is not where it should be. Okay. I'm just going to put a little bit of tape there. Ha ha. All right. Cutting it just like we have been all along. If I can find my little ruler. There it is. Make sure nothing is underneath. Booger, booger, booger. Can't believe I did that. Make sure you cut your smart corners because that is really going to help you with the piecing part. This is a little bit of a curve. It's not straight. So just be prepared and cut slow. And this side is not a curve. It's just a straight. Okay, now I can pull all my paper off. So let that be a lesson. Do not take your paper off until you cut the outside edge and you're sure you've gotten everything done. Yes, Mary, I made a mistake. Little tape helped them. All right. Now, once you get your A2 units done, you can sew all 3 sections together. This is what we're going to do. So once you get your A2 units done, you can take your A1 units and they will fit right at the bottom. Your A1 units will fit right at the bottom of your A2. And the smart corners are really going to help you line everything up. And I did use glue. Start on one side. Do the other side and lay it down. So don't forget to go back to piecing regular sewing stitch length. I did do tacking, back stitching on the front, start and at the end. You want to make sure that your folds stay down where they're supposed to be. And you only want to sew a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. And then I would iron it towards your A1 units. Or I should say press, not iron. Did I iron them that way? Did I iron them the other way? Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm going to iron them towards your A2 units. So we're going to iron the seam this way. right. Okay, now see the side that we put on the bias strip? You've got two basting lines there, and we've got two matching basting lines here. I'm sorry, here, okay? So we don't want to stretch this. What I want you to do is you're just going to, all right. Looks like I need some new glue. Have you guys gone through your glue yet and changed it? Changed it out to the new one? The new stick? Because if not, I'm then about to show you how to do it. So I'm gonna put it all the way up. Take off the plastic. Empty. Yeah, I've gone through a lot too. I can tell you that. And I'm buying more. I love these. Makes life so much easier. I take the cap off of the refill, stick it on, and then we're just going to turn until we can't turn no more, so it goes all the way down. There we go. And you can wash these out and use them for holding bad needles or pins or whatever. Okay, so we've got our two basting stitches here. So I'm just going to put my glue in that section. And then I'm going to take my first alignment mark, put it with matching these up. Just that's all you're going to do is match them up. Make sure they use your heat of your fingers to get them stuck, and then very gently without stretching. You don't want to stretch. We're just gonna very gently using our folds, gonna get the rest of it down there. Does that make sense? So you're gonna have a little bit of this like ruffling, which is fine, but you don't want down here to be ruffled. So make sure your folds are going in the right direction and they stay flat. Does that make sense, you two? I just want to make sure. Then we're going to start on the other end. Make sure before you put these two together that you iron your A3 units so that these are out as far as possible. Good, Susan. How about you, Mary? Is this making sense? Same thing with this. Make sure these are ironed out as much as they need to be so that they're flat. And finally, we're going to do the other side. don't skip on the glue. Let me tell you, you don't want this thing coming apart halfway through sewing because it's going to get real frustrated. Again, I get the end first. And then lay down the rest of it. Come on. Just takes, you just got to be patient. And then we're going to sew it with 1/4 of an inch. You want to sew it with the leaf part, the petal down, so that you can keep an eye on all of your folds. Sometimes if I rush too much, it's not good because then it doesn't glue the way it's supposed to. Okay, petal down, petal part. And we're going to just do a 1/4 inch seam. You want to be as accurate as possible with your 1/4 inch seam, or at least as consistent. And just go slow. Keep all your folds nice and flat. All right. Now, the directions say to iron it that they're seen towards your A2 units. Okay. As a long armor, I know I'm not going to be stitching in that little line there, quilting anything in there. What I'm going to do, because it's less bulky and it will quilt for me better, is I am actually going to iron it towards the petal part. It's a completely up to you, but I think it's better that way. The likelihood of you actually quilting in this tiny little area, I actually think I'm going to leave that unquilted, and it will, act as a raised valley open area. But it's, in my opinion, again, it's against the rules of what she says in the directions. But ironing it towards the pedal, I think you're gonna like it better. It's less bulky. Oh, you're just gonna have to take it slow because you don't want to refold, iron everything in the wrong direction that you had already done, if that makes sense. And I'm going to use a little bit of best press just to keep it from stretching because it's biased, and keep it so it doesn't move all over the place. Come on. All right. I think I'm going to give up on this ironing right now because it's not pretty. But you get the idea. We're good? That's all I got for you today. I love it. Mine are all done except for this pink one. All of my strips, you saw the pictures of all the petals I've already posted. It's so pretty. All right. What do you think so far? Are you guys good? Do you have any questions? Do you want me to sew some more? That's enough. There's a lot. It's going to take you a little while. Now, I'm not sure we're going to have a class next week or the week after. So, because it's going to take you a while, my recommendation is you can get all of these done, which are going to take you a lot longer than the first one did, and sew these together. And if you end up finishing all that in 2 weeks, then you can start your B1s, which are same thing as the A2 units. Same exact thing. The only difference is they're a little smaller. How does that sound? I don't want you guys to like rush and have mistakes, but I think 2 weeks is enough time to do all of your A2s and sew everything together. And if you have extra time, then you can start your B1s. Does that sound like a plan? That gives me time next weekend to get packed up for my retreat. And then the following weekend, I'll be at retreat and we'll come back. That means the next class would be the 1st, March 1st. No, Miss Susan, you are just too funny. You are such an overachiever. No, you're doing well. You're doing really good. At this point, you might have all your B1s ready next week, too. Are you good with that, Mary? You might be ahead of me by the time we come to the next class. And the next class we're going to do after the B1s is, then we're going to do the B2s. Let me see. I'm going to baste our B2s, maybe. Start our C's. We may not even base our B2s. I don't know. At least not at the class. Oh, tell Mary, tell these people they've got more important things to be working on than answering the door. Like, come on. Did you understand what I was saying? So we won't do classes for 2 weeks. We won't have another class till March 1st. That should give you enough time to stitch all your A1s, finish your A3s, making sure that you based them where I told you to, and sewing them all 3 units together. So if I don't know, Miss Susan might have enough time. If you have finished with all of that, you can wait for the March class, and if you need help, I'll show you how to do the B1s. Oh, or if you're comfortable doing the B1, which is the same as the A2s, just smaller, you can do these yourself too. That's up to you. So March 1st will be our next class. That way you've got plenty of time to get, and you know, you don't have to rush. I don't want you to rush and make a boo-boo. As you can see for me, if you're not with it, sometimes you do dingling mistakes. And that way too, if you have something to do for Valentine's Day, which I don't, I'll be sitting here. I'll be packing. That's what I'll be doing all next weekend. You don't have to feel guilty about not getting something done. All right. Now I gotta get ready for my next class. Don't rush yourself, Mary. If you're a little behind, don't worry, because I'll probably take time next week to show you B1 or show you what we're going to do next with B1. So don't rush, really. Are you guys, one last question before I let you go. Are you enjoying it? Which is more important. I hope you guys are. I hope you're enjoying this because I know I am, with the exception of my B1's unit looking like I cut them wrong. I don't know. I think I cut the shades wrong. I'm not happy about that, but I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna go with it. I don't know. Maybe it's just my eyes, but it looks like the shading is wrong. I'm just going with it. Good. I'm glad you both like it. I hate to tell you, Susan, I have probably 6 other kits for these for her paper piece and patterns that I have ready to go to. All right. I hope you have a lovely rest of your weekend. Message me if you have any problems at all. And the videos are here if you need them. Okay? Have a great weekend. All right, now let's go pee.
And I should be live. Welcome, everyone. Hopefully you can hear me. I'm going to walk away. I have a microphone on right now. I'm going to walk away and hopefully the audio doesn't change. I didn't test this ahead of time. If I did, I'm getting quieter if I messed it up. If it worked, you can hear me just fine. So welcome to a series of streams that I pretty much need to do until the end of eternity, until it's actually done. And that is sorting. What you're looking at here on the desk is my immediate to be sorted pile. This is all the stuff that when I was working on the Reiko shelving, which a little bit of a spoiler alert on my next video that you're about to watch, and I'm in the process of filming right now, I converted back to Sterilite. I won't talk too much about that here because I talk about it at length in the video, but as you can see, some of these drawers, they're currently empty and we need to fill them with stuff. So I've got lots of stuff to fill. And this is just the beginning of it. This is just the things that were sitting out here. So I've been wanting to process this. So, this is really what I want for my life. Started and looking good.
Why, yes, of course. And today is a great day to do it because it is currently 98 degrees in Anaheim. So we're going to find the best places in California Adventure today to rest and recharge. I'm going to tell you right now, this place right here, Animation Academy, best rest spot you're going to find in this park. The AC in here is amazing. Plus, you can kill some time in there doing Turtles on the Crush, learning to draw a character.
I'm going to come over here.
Yes, of course.
What am I doing? I'm just having fun. Does the audio change? Does it sound the same? Audio is good. Does it say yes? I did something right. Yes. You guys ready to sort? Who likes sorting here? Does anybody enjoy sorting? Enjoy like this? I find it a little therapeutic, but I also find it to be very, I don't know, disappointing. I guess we can work on the take this as. This is part of my. Cool. There you go. I find it to be disappointing because I spend all this time doing it, and then you realize you still have a ton to go. Like, say I get all this done, that would be good, right?
Fortnite is turning one. And to celebrate, The Lego Group at Epic Games have sent us this mystery box. So let's take a look inside. Enjoy your new home in the city from Lego Fortnite.
To be sorted. Talk about the to be sorted
Oh, it's
pile.
like a big
How many
giant.
live streams could that be?
Your
Again, we could just make a whole
next
career out of
adventure.
this. Nothing but sort
Storm
Lego.
glass.
Most of this is Sharkman box and things that you build in the past that are broken down. Some of it is yard sale Lego. There's minifigs in here. This is more
It's like
Lego
next
than I
adventure in
had
Lego
as a
Fortnite.
kid.
Could be
This
something
is
to do
my
with
to
the
be
storm.
sorted. This is one.
Yeah, so there's like the one
Thing that needs sorted, right?
Lego
There's a whole
Fortnite
story
Turn in
for that.
One. Let's see
This
what
is
this
my
is.
childhood
Loads of
Lego. See
Lego
this?
Fortnite characters on there.
See this?
Got another
There's a little
card
bit more, but
on
like
today.
that is all
Whoa,
of the
look
Lego
at
that
this
had
stuff.
prior to being
It is, it's
Yes, I
like
collected until I was like
party hat for
12,
you.
13. So that's everything I own.
Yeah, go for it.
This is one of
Buttercake
my
with
two
Conroy's
sorted.
buttercream.
It's crazy, man.
With me as
But
I
you know
clean
what?
my 12-year-old
It is what it
daughter's
is.
apartment.
We'll do
Okay,
it.
while I'm cleaning
And
her
I'm
apartment,
looking
I'll
forward to it.
explain
Chat
why
with you.
she has an
We'll sort.
apartment
It
and
makes
why
it-
I'm
this
cleaning
gives
it.
me, like,
First,
a
why
reason
I'm
to do
cleaning
this.
it. So I've
Like,
talked about this a
if I
lot on my
don't,
page. You can go back
when
to
I say
find older
this,
videos, but basically
it's harder
once
for me to
every like
justify
2
it.
months I come up and I
So
do
welcome,
a clean
everybody.
myself of my daughter's apartment.
Let's
Now
get started
she
here
does the
on-
day-to-day maintenance and
I think I'm just
everything,
gonna do
but
the
once in a
dream
while
set.
it's nice
That's
to
the
just
one
come
that
up
we
and
put it
do
up
a
recently.
clean
Also,
sweep
this
myself. I talk a lot
pumpkin
about the
set
importance
here
of showing your kids
that you
grace,
saw
so that's
scroll.
undeserved favor. They might not deserve
out.
my help
I'm gonna
in
part
cleaning their
this
room, but
out.
I'm going to offer it
These
to them
were sent to
anyways.
us and
Now,
they
I
were out,
honestly
and
feel like
I
this is
think I
not
already
really
have
grace
this,
because
and
my
we've already
daughter
built
does
it.
deserve my
But
help. She
I
keeps it
was thinking, like,
clean
maybe I'll sell
80%
it,
of
but
the
I can't
time. I'm
because
just
it
coming
has
in
a
once in a while to
slice
kind
in
of
the
help
back.
make sure
I don't know if
everything's
it's
where it's supposed to
collectors
be.
and
But regardless, I'm
appreciate
going
that.
to
So I
call
was
this
like,
grace
well,
anyways. And
I
one
could
of
use
my
those
love
ones for my
languages is
collection.
acts of service. So I
Some
actually
good stuff
enjoy
in there.
doing this
So we'll
for my
part that
children
baby
once in a
up.
while. And yes, she's
What happened
very
to the other
grateful
drawers?
that
You'll
I'm
find
cleaning her
out in
room.
the next
I get a
video.
lot of comments like, I
Spoiler
would hate
alert,
if my
I'm
mom
using
came into my
ceramic.
room unannounced.
The other
My daughter
ones
loves
are
it. It's one of her
decided
favorite
against.
things that I do.
So
So
we'll see
she
that
is
in the
always
video.
tickled when I surprise her with a
5
little
minutes. I just
clean.
edited
Now
it.
you'll notice I didn't do
Maybe
any
that part of the
laundry.
video up, but this
Laundry
is a
is something
continuation
that
of
I
it.
will do with
So,
her, but I will not do
it
for
talks all
her.
about
I
that.
feel like
I
it's
make the
really
decision to
important that
move
she
her back to
learns
sterile
any
right now.
laundry she wears,
today,
uses, she
we're
needs to be
sorting. We'll do
responsible
the
for.
dots.
Otherwise, she'll just kind of
We'll do the
willy-nilly
dots
throw
in the
things out of her
next stream. We'll
closet,
do
you
a
know,
whole
leave things
dots
laying
stream.
around.
Doesn't
It
that
just
sound
helps
like
keep
fun?
her more responsible if
Imagine
I
that.
do it with her, but
We
not for
could
her.
just do a whole
Now,
dots
why
thing.
does
Does
my
anybody
12-year-old have
collect
an
dots
apartment?
out
I
there?
actually don't call it an apartment.
Is
I
there
just
stuff
say
in here
that
too?
because
This
a
is
lot of
my
people on
my
social
dots
media
collection.
call it that.
If I
But
ever pull
we
any
had a
of these
house
out,
fire
you can put in here.
and it was really disheartening
No.
because we
Because
had
I
a
do
really
some of them,
low
like the
mortgage, a
clear
really
ones, like
good
with
interest rate.
headlights
It
and
was
tail
like
lights.
two and a
What?
half,
Goes
two
into
point
these.
nine.
I
I
still
don't
have
know.
like a whole
It was
bag in
less than
here for
3%.
rain.
We were very disheartened
These
when we
are
lost our
leftovers
house in the
from
fire and
when
had to
we
start
moved,
over.
this kind
So
of
we
stuff.
thought to ourselves, how can we
Isn't
turn
that
this into
cool?
a blessing?
I
And
love that.
so
Clark Man went crazy on that
we
thing.
just
But
started
these
thinking about
dots,
generational wealth
I
in our
don't really
kids.
use.
And so we
There
thought
are other
one
ones
thing
too,
we could
like
do for
these little
them
quarter
is
ones.
create places for them
Come
to
in
live
handy
in
for
our
those.
house
But I've got
so
a
that they
lot of
can
them.
save up for
These are
their
just
own
from
house and they're
yard
not ever
sales.
going to waste
They
money
even
on rent
got them
or
on
anything like
clearance for
that.
$3.
We are not millionaires,
I think I
but
got
we
all
can
this
create
for like
generational wealth
$2.
by
And
allowing
Amazon
our
Pack
kids
got this
to
for me
live with us
actually.
as long as possible.
Just
And
some
in order to
dots.
do that, they kind
This
of
is
need their own
nicer
space. So
for
we
sorting
built
maybe.
this room above our garage for our
Storage stuff.
daughter. And then our oldest
We'll
son
see.
will have his
I'll
apartment
set
in the
that aside. We'll
basement.
do some
And
like
then there's
dedicated
11
videos
years
where we
between my
part
oldest
stuff
and my
out
youngest, so
if
he
you
will
want
either
to.
be in the basement as
You
well,
guys
or
want to
he
say
will
hi to
take over
yourself?
hers when she moves
Put
out.
everybody in the
And
chat.
I
I
will
can see
say
what
one
you're
of the
saying.
reasons
So
I
that's a
do
good
come up and
thing.
help clean once in a while is
Well,
because this
welcome
is
to
a
the stream,
very
my
large
friend.
space for a
You gonna
12-year-old. It's
try?
actually very overwhelming for her to do
This is my
herself.
life goal.
So I like to come up once in a while
Can I
and just
share
kind of
my
help her
life
out
goal
with
with
it.
you?
But that is why my
It's
12-year-old
gonna
has an
sound
apartment.
silly as a life goal, but I love live streaming.
Completely honest with you
It's like
guys,
where
I
I get my
am a little behind with
energy
this review.
from. I find it's my best work, which is to say not very good at all, but it's my best. I like to live stream every day. I'm also doing gaming streams every day. You should subscribe to Greg's Arcade. It's the place where I'm trying to beat Luigi's Mansion 3 for the Nintendo Switch, and I set a goal for myself to have it done by Halloween. We've got 6 floors of this mansion left, and I'd love to see you over there to hang out. We're actually going to be streaming some tonight with the Clark Man. Being that today we're kind of running out of time, but I'd like to do, I'm trying to square away like an hour each day where I do a Lego live stream, then I do a gaming live stream. Is that, what better life can you think of? Don't answer that. I'll show you all the cups we have here. Thank you, Pick a Brick.
Mr. Chair, or I'm.
Thanks,
I'm
Dean.
the chair.
Thanks, Dean.
Welcome back.
So over the years, I've seen a lot of
Hey, you guys, and welcome to Munich.
Did you know that almost 75?
So it seems like everywhere you turn, someone's yapping on about 3D printing and how cool it is. Not interested, right? Well, then you see someone use it for something, well, useful. And you start to think, maybe it's worth looking into. But you have no idea where to start. You can barely spell 3D. So you start learning and you fall into this deep, dark rabbit hole of printers and filament and 3D modeling and what the heck's a thingiverse? Well, stop. I'm going to make this simple for you. I'm going to tell you exactly which 3D printer to buy, tell you now, maybe I'm one of those annoying people on YouTube you've seen talk about 3D printing, or maybe you've just stumbled onto this video. Well, long story short, I've spent the better part of 5 years printing pretty much nonstop in a professional engineering setting. I've worked with very expensive industrial printers and crappy desktop models throughout that time. And I currently run a production print farm of about 40 printers that have amassed tens of thousands of print hours. So not just some dork printing Pikachu figurines for my desk. I may be a dork, but at least I know what functional 3D printing actually looks like. And that's really where my passion lies, using 3D printing to do real world stuff. And chances are, if you're watching this, that's what you're interested in too. And don't get me wrong, printing dumb things can be fun, but solving problems is funner. So, what printer to buy? This is the Prusa Mark IV, and it's a beige Toyota Corolla with cloth seats. It's not going to win any drag races, but you can bet your ass it'll get you to work. And this is the Bamboo Labs X1, and it's a Tesla Model S with a sleek interior and fake leather seats. It's very fast. Will still probably get you to work, but doesn't quite have the track record of the Toyota. But what if I told you that the price point was the same? You get the Tesla, right? Well, not so fast. These two printers right here represent, in my opinion, some of the absolute best hobbyist 3D printer options on the market right now. And that includes for complete beginners. I will also say that every printer you see in this video was purchased by me. I'm not sponsored or affiliated with any of these companies. These opinions were for myself after opening up my wallet and buying them. And I'm not going to bore you with tech specs, speeds, and feeds. There's plenty of nerds out there that can do that for you. Instead, I want to explain why they're great options, and it comes down to this. You ready? Both of these just work. That's it. And sure, you can save money, a lot of money, by going with a cheaper option, like an Ender 3. But as someone who wants to get into 3D printing and not into working on 3D printers, this is an invaluable feature that unfortunately costs some money. Nothing is going to kill your printing curiosity like trying to manually level a print bed or endlessly add third-party components just to get the damn thing to work right. There's plenty of time for that later. The Prusa brand is synonymous with reliability, much like Toyota. That's why I run exclusively Prusa Mark III S Pluses in my print farm. They're reliable machines that can also be easily serviced due to the open source nature of the design and part availability. Prusa has been developing, manufacturing, and providing customer service for their machines since 2012. I bought my first machine in 2018, and it's still going strong. Last I heard, they sell somewhere on the order of 10,000 of these per month. They're popular for a reason. But the new kid on the block, Bamboo Lab, is attempting to give Prusa a run for their money with their lineup of 3D printers. What they've done is essentially democratize the features of expensive industrial 3D printers and make them available on a relatively cheap consumer machine. They really have shaken up the hobbyist market because most of these customers have never seen anything like this. It's blowing their freaking minds. And since I come from the industrial 3D printing world, these features are not groundbreaking on their own right, but having them all in a printer that anyone can afford is really cool to see. And like most tech advancements, it's primarily driven through clever software implementation, not necessarily hardware. The reason why Bamboo Lab 3D printers are so ridiculously fast, and they are fast, isn't because they figured out how to make stepper motors move faster. They're using a process called input shaping. And this is essentially factoring the resonance or natural frequency of the printer and compensating for it in the movement of the machine. If the print head accelerates in one direction, the software anticipates how the printer structure is going to react and effectively cancels it out. This is why prints can be up to